So you can create your account in Azure by clicking on Start Free. Okay. If you go here, just click on Sign In or a free account, and it will redirect you to the give your email address, and you can create your own password over there. Once you given your details, it will ask your personal details, which country, your mail ID, and your username, middle name, last name, like this. So once you're given, it will ask your credit card details, not debit card. You have to use credit card. Okay. So once you given the details, it will just deduct only 2 rupees from your credit card, and that is also for validation purpose. Okay. Once it is validated, that will be returned to your credit card only in 5 business days. And just please remember, no debit card will not work, and also credit card should be Discover, Master, or Visa. That's it. Okay. And with these cards only it will be work. Once you create it, the UI will be look like this. You can start your creating your labs. So let me log into it first. So once it is logged in, the UI will be look like this. Okay. So in your case, you will be not able to see these recent things. It is very clean for you. If you are using all the services, it will be enabled for you everything. Okay. Now let me log on to AWS console. AWS, to create AWS account also same procedure only, but for AWS you can use debit card. You can use both the cards, credit card and debit card. Okay, and let's go with the GCP. So these three portals are now we are in console. Okay, now I am in GCP, AWS, Microsoft Azure. Okay, so let's go through the UI. If you see in the Azure, Microsoft Azure, so these are all the services. There are 100 plus services are available inside every cloud, and especially inside the Microsoft Azure, we have a many services, more than a 200 plus. Okay. But as you can see, we have just it is showing only few. But what about the others? If you click on one, it will show many. Okay, many things. Go to all services. So we have this many services. If you click on AI and machine learning, we have these are the sub services and resources. Okay, each service and each resource will developed for the a purpose, specific purpose. And analytics, this many, compute, this many services we have, containers, this many services we have, databases, DevOps. See, DevOps itself is having a many services here, general services, and hybrid and multi-cloud. See, this is an extension which is having Azure. You can simply integrate with the multi-clouds. You can integrate with the AWS, you can integrate with the GCP, you can integrate with the IBM, Oracle, Alibaba, like this, Linode. Okay. So identity, it's a good feature which is Microsoft Azure is having completely. You can see, so these are the identity as a services. So this is a business services. If you see Azure AD business to consumers and Azure AD for business to tenants. So we will discuss these things in a too deep dive in our upcoming classes, because these are the very important things. Okay, active directory. So these are the identity. With this only we will build our project. With this only your infrastructure will be going to be handled on the Azure cloud. Integrations, Internet of Things, IoT. It's clearly. So what is this IoT means? What is this IoT? For example, you have a cars, and cars are all working on the sensor based, right? And when you are entering into any restaurant, automatically doors are opening, okay, automatic things are happening, automatically sensor works. So that is IoT. The best example for it, Alexa. Okay, so like this. So Microsoft is supporting for this IoT projects more, and it is also connected with the satellite. Okay, satellite connections, management and governance. You can do your governing of the projects itself here. No need of go for the third party for the fulfillment and enablement and governing for your growth perspective of your business strategies. So you can do all these things here only. We technically call it as KPI. Okay, we will discuss all this. KPI, key performance interfaces, and migrations, which is very important. We have Azure migration tools. So these are the migration things which makes you to connect, and easily you can migrate the things to the Azure. Okay, and mixed reality, monitor, networking, security, storage, web and mobile. For everything we have multiple services. Let's go to AWS. Even AWS also having the same. If you say analytics, application integrations, if you click on analytics, these many services are here. Okay, okay, application integrations and AWS cost management, blockchain, business applications, compute, all the things which is available in Azure, also it is available in the AWS. Okay, Internet of Things, game development, media services, governance, migration, transfer, quantum technology. So this is the additional feature which AWS is having, and robotics. Okay, so but in the Azure they call it as AI and ML. Okay, and additional feature is satellite also here, security, compliance, and storage. Same come to GCP. Click on here. So these are all the services. It is also having multiple sub services. Okay, if you see like this, marketplace, compute engine, Kubernetes engines, cloud storages, BigQuery, VPC network, Cloud Run, SQLs, everything. Okay, so GCP is bit difficult to understand. The UI is not good. Means not good means when you habituate, it will be looks good for you. But comparing to this AWS, GCP is having a less UI impression, and comparing to the Azure, AWS is having less impression. If you see Azure, its UI is very clear for you, right? Colorful and everything. So this is called a user-friendly UI. Yes. So user-friendly UI. Okay. If you go to home, and the good feature which is Azure is having, if you move your cursor here, and it will tell you what it will use for. Okay. What it will use for. Description and everything, and how much it is, and also you can find the training videos also here, which officially documented by the Microsoft experts. Okay, a minute, let me have my water. Yeah, sorry guys. Okay, let's come back. Yeah, so Azure will tell you about every service very clearly by showing a pop-up in description way, and also it will add some links. If you click on it, it will direct you to the video which Microsoft Expert is recorded. If you go to the AWS, you will be not having that kind of feature. See, I'm just moving here, but it won't give a pop-up. And in GCP also, it won't give any pop-up. It just only show the services. And the one more thing, GCP will have learn more is an icon here. You can see. So they will give this learn more thing. That's it. Okay. And coming to the budget and costing, Azure will charge per minute. Okay. And AWS will charge per hour. GCP will also charge per minute. Okay. Per minute. So this is the major difference between these three clouds. So that's why AWS is attracting some medium scale industries and for who budget friendly, and that's why it is holding 50% of market share in the market. If you see the market share every year, AWS will hold more because the medium scale, small scales companies will be go for the AWS, even digital marketers also, because of the business analyst, business strategists, and analytics. Those engineers, what they will do? So basically, they want to use the free services. Okay, so AWS will provide those kind of things for 1 year, 12 months as a free tiering. They'll provide this thing, right? So that's why those people will use the services and they'll somewhat rate it, and also they will recommend for the low or medium companies to have their promotions. And the one more good place AWS is having a marketplace. Okay, where everybody can show their talent. For example, I'm here and I created a new operating system and I want to promote it. I want to make it available for few clients so then they can know it, right? This, so that kind of platform AWS is providing, where Azure and GCP is not providing. But yes, the same kind of platform available in Azure and GCP also, but few people only knows. Okay, few people only knows about it. And if you go to AWS, it will be very clearly you'll be able to understand the same pattern Salesforce also having marketplace. And the advantages and disadvantages of among these three clouds. Okay, so Azure will be having a more security and user friendly. Okay, yes, budget is more, but you will get accurate output by your project, means your with your automation. AWS also same, budget friendly. Comparing with the Azure, will be AWS is having some kind of less security. Okay, and coming to GCP, it is also having a security more like Azure, but it will cost more than these two clouds. Okay, the performance is too much high. GCP cloud performance is too much high because every service will work on customized API base. Okay. So that's why it is too much fast. So this is the different. So how these projects are selecting their cloud. For example, when you're looking for the job description or a JD will they throw to you, like they will ask, we are specifically looking for Azure engineer who know Azure cloud like this, Azure DevOps like this. But who made that project to be deployed in the Azure, right? Architectures. Okay, architectures and CTOs. Okay, and pre-sales. So these guys are involved here, and observability and implementation. So we have many teams implementation. So like this, we have a teams. The one who can take decision is these three guys. Once they took the decision, who will going to be test out and implement and give the pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages about it? These two guys, implementation and observability. So always a project is depends on these guys only. Okay, architecture is he's the guy who completely go and guide and build the project on the specific cloud service provider. So he has to have the knowledge about it and the application. So we have different types of applications like two-tier application and three-tier application. Like this, we have applications types. We will discuss application types also in different organizational way. Okay, and we'll be discuss the infrastructure also for every application. What could be the design for it, and how architectures will build it. Okay, so we will discuss kind of application tiering and application backend and application how it is structured, a basic structure, and then how an architecture will go have uh, a very good implementation with the respective cloud with the highly advanced features they will use. Few architectures will use existing features only, but they will make it as stable on the cloud like this. Okay, so that those points we will discuss in our upcoming classes where we talk about the KPI monitoring, observability, and all those things. Okay, so this is the basics of a cloud UI. Okay, and coming to connectivity from on-prem to the cloud side. So this is a main important thing because every customer is moving their applications. So that's where this technology is boom, and that's where we are getting a lot of jobs and we are getting paid high because we need to be work over there, right? So coming to migrations, AWS and Azure are daddies. Means daddies in the sense is again it depends upon the application architecture, but connecting to the cloud side is good. And managing a databases, AWS is somewhat poor. And creating your database administrations, and data engineering side, Azure is more. Okay, so by these inputs, you'll get to know. Means I think I hope you already got the point. So which cloud is good to know? Yes, if you know about the three clouds, it's a very added advantage to you, and you're not going to find a lot of difference between these three clouds. If you learn one cloud, the same things will be on the AWS, same things will be on the GCP, but there are some naming conventions are different. Same service, but the names are different. Okay, so here we call the server as virtual machine VM, and here we call it as EC2, and here also we call it as VM again. Okay, if you see in the compute engine again VM, see VM instances here, virtual machines here, EC2 instances. So like this, same server in three different cloud, we are calling with the three different names. That's it. But the functionality, underlying structure is same. Once you know about it, about one cloud, and among these three clouds, if you know about the Azure, you'll be able to catch simply AWS and GCP. Okay, no need of learning AWS separately, GCP separately. Yes, you need to know about it, why you're using it, one service, and what purpose. If you know about the purpose, yes, and you'll be automatically get to know the features which is added on the specific cloud. Okay, we come here, so we are calling here active directory. Okay, here we call it as a KMS, here we call it as a KMS, and here we call it as identity and AD, and here we call it as tenants and all, but here we call it as IAM. Okay, the same name also will be reflect here in some points. And GCP also having IAM, identity access management. Identity will be everywhere identity only. Okay, so like this. So this is the basic introductions about the cloud UI and cloud things. And if your project is deployed on the AWS, again you will be going to use Azure AD only, Active Directory. If your project deployed on the Google, again you're going to use Azure AD only. So this is having a more security. Okay, it's better to know about the Azure and better to be pro in Azure side. Then you will be a multi-cloud engineer simply. And our focus is to be learn as much as possible. We can show our skill in the market for your jobs. So before that, we need to start from the ground. So this is the three clouds. Okay, and again we calling this for we let's discuss about the virtual machines. Okay, virtual machines, AWS EC2 instances and GCP compute using VM instances. Okay, so this is a server. Everything in the internet is working on the server only. And you might listen the name serverless architecture. Okay, so there is no serverless architecture. Everything will work on the server itself only. Everything work on server itself only. So for example, let's talk about the server. Let's take this. Let's consider this as a server. So what this server? So this server is a computer device, or it is a device or a machine, okay, which provides you to compute to run your program by a user, by a client, okay, or you run by your framework. It is a system that the compute service is available to run your program. Okay, let's call this server. And in many areas, many people call this server with different names. Itself on the clouds, we had a different names, right? The same way, in different areas, people will call this server with different name. So instance is one name, and VM is one name, mission is one name, node is one name, host is one name, and slave one name. Okay. Server is equal to instance. Server is equal to VM. Server is equal to mission. Server is equal to node. Server is equal to host and slave. So in different areas, we'll call this server with a different names. But all names are equal, means referring to the server only. So don't be confused. And the people call with a different. So when we are writing some Jenkins script, we'll call it as a slave node. When we are into the connecting some networking parts, VPCs, connectivity, security things, we call it as a host. When we are doing installing and deployments and everything, missions, VM we call it as. So generally on the cloud thing, we call it as an instance. And more on general, we call it as a server. So like this. In different areas, people will call different names. But don't be confused about that. So when you join in a company and they said instance at one time and VM at one time, or node at one time. So if you ask what is node and what is host, it's not good. Okay. So these are the basic things which you need to know. Okay, so what this server will have, this server will have compute part in it, a compute part. So this compute part is same like a laptop. Let me tell the example of laptop. Among you, one person went to Reliance and you decided to buy a laptop, right? And you checked about the demo piece and you checked it, you liked it, and you want to buy it. What you'll do, you will call this that guy, sales guy, and you will tell that yes, I want to buy this because I have very good specifications in it. Just bring this new laptop. What he will do, he will went to the store and he'll bring a new laptop and he'll open it. So inside that laptop there will be nothing in it, nothing. That is compute. That laptop itself is a one server, one machine. Okay, it's nothing will be have, there will be a only compute engine, that is only compute engine. What he will do, he will connect a USB and he will boot operating system image in it, right? Then it will act like a Windows laptop, Windows machine. If you boot Linux operating system, it will act like a Linux, Ubuntu. Okay, the same manner servers also. Servers will have a compute part in it. Okay, when you install operating system Windows, then this server called as Windows server. When you boot the operating system is Linux server. Ubuntu server. Okay, Mac server. For operating specifications, we need to change the device specifications also, like RAM. Okay, so here we will call, in laptop manner we call it as a RAM, but in the server we call it as a CPU. Okay, we need to increase the CPUs and memory. So like this, we have a specifications for servers also. Servers also. So this is a server. On this, what we are doing, we are installing an operating system here. Installing an operating system here. OS, like Linux OS. On top of this layer, operating system layer, we are installing, deploying our application. This is our app. Okay, so now we using Netflix. Where it is hosting? It is on the server on Ubuntu operating system. Netflix is running on Ubuntu operating system. Okay, even Amazon Prime also running on Ubuntu operating system. Those are Linux distributions. Okay, so like this. So the servers which are already running, those will have an operating system on top of the layer that our applications are running. And this server will have one IP address. IP address. So IP address means internet protocol, which is used to address this server. Okay, so basically IP address will be like this: public IP address 100.12.1.15, like this. Okay, so this IP address we will convert to the DNS like www.netflix.com. So whenever we search this, it will direct to this IP address. This IP address is be used to be address this server. Yes, it will come to this server from here to here and here to here. Then we will be able to open application in our mobile. Okay. So whatever running you are seeing is running on this server only. So this is a basic understanding of a server, and we will be going to do the same things from our next classes. We will going to be deploy these applications. We will see, we will host, we will browse on the internet. Okay. So we're going to select this specifications also: CPU, memory, operating system, how we can connect it, what we can do, what we can run commands in it. Okay. We will discuss about the Linux basics also, what commands we can run. So that's help you to troubleshoot the servers. When application is unhealthy, the user is not able to access this, something will happen, okay, to this memory or CPU. You need to find out, you need to resolve it. Something has happened inside this server, this is called service. Something has happened to this service, we need to be resolved it. So this is the basic things which we need to know. Once we know this, yeah, we'll get to know automatically. Okay, it might be a problem at DNS, it might be a problem at IP address, it might be a problem at CPU, memory, or operating system, or at application. So you need to segregate the areas, then you'll get to know simply to troubleshoot. So this is the way to do investigation of a ticket in your organization. When you receive any live ticket or a normal ticket, a task, you have to do investigation first. Then you will can able to explain to your seniors. Also, it will help you to be understand very better, and it will increase your knowledge also. Okay, and so when this DNS, this is a protocol. Okay, so for this server in the internet world, we are having protocols and port numbers. Protocols and port numbers. Everything is working on the internet is because of the protocols only. Protocols is defined under certain rules and conditions to deliver of communication. Okay. So what are the protocols? How many protocols we have? Let's discuss. So we have a protocols like DNS. DNS is a protocol which works on 53 port number. HTTP, which works on 80 port number. HTTPS, which works on 443 port number. SSH, which works on 22 port number. SMTP, which works on 25 port number. So like this, we have many port numbers and many protocols. So the purpose of building this protocol, the purpose of building is, there's a protocol port number, but what is the purpose of it? Why we are using it? Right? We need to know about it. DNS is used to name an application with an IP address. Name a domain to our application with IP, like www.netflix.com. So these we will discuss in deeper when we had a DNS class. Okay, we'll have some records for it. Okay, so all the users, when you're browsing it, it will look for the server, look for the IP address, and we will see from your laptop in the browser, when you search for application name or like this Netflix, what happens in behind. Okay, coming to HTTP is just to be browse your www things. Okay, and 443. So HTTP is a plain texting which not provide you the security. HTTPS will provide you security. Because of this only, SSL certifications are installing and your all banking things are working perfect because of the SSL only. Okay. And SSH, which is connecting to the CLI of Linux servers or Ubuntu servers to do your work. Windows is GUI, Linux is CLI. Again, SMTP is your Gmail, Yahoo, and Outlook will work on it. You are sending a Gmail, on what protocol it is running? It is running on SMTP. Okay. So like this, we have 65,536 protocols and port numbers in the internet world. So every protocol and every port number is developed for the purpose. Okay. To connect, we have RDP, we have FTP, uh, we have many are there. I'm not able to recall right now. A few. Okay. So like this, we have a protocols and port numbers, and all this referring to the this IP address. This IP address. Yeah. Someone is message. Yep. Yes, RDP will use it is 3389 port number, and FTP will use 21 port number. And we have other port numbers also, like, so we have a telnet also, and this same thing will work on 20 also. Okay, because SFTP. Okay, and we have other protocols like TCP and all. Okay, we have many protocols. We will discuss all these things. So this DNS will be again reverse lookup and forward lookup. Reverse lookup and forward lookup. So what is this reverse and forward? Forward, when you search for the name, it will look for the IP address. When you search for the IP address, it will look for the name. So this is called reverse and forward. And we have a record, CNAME record, like this. So we'll get to know more about hosting zones when we get to know about the application. Okay, we need to know first basic structure of application, how we are deploying it. Once deployed, how we can make it available on the internet to provide to the end users. End users is technically called the users who are using the application. So here laptop mobiles are the end users. Okay, so this is the basic things for the cloud, and some about the server and some of the protocols and port numbers. So anyone having any doubts and confusions, let me know. I'll answer your questions. Anyone, please unmute and you can go. Okay. So no one is not having any doubt, it seems. Let's close this then. Call and will be the regular classes will be going from Monday. Just don't miss out. One more time, I'm asking any doubts. If no doubts, then we are good to conclude this. Okay. Okay then. So we'll meet in next class. Then. Bye guys.